Welcome to level 4 of our yoga program. My daughter Isla is joining us today and our focus is going to be on back bends. So starting with your legs crossed, nice long spine, and just rest the hands on your knees, thumb and the middle finger gently touching, nice long spine, and close the eyes. Close the mouth as well and begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. Begin to settle the body. And bring your awareness inwards. With every inhale, sit a little bit taller. And try to relax with the exhale. So I'm going to read our quote today at the beginning of our practice. So your practice doesn't expect you to show up happy. It asks that you be present. It doesn't mind if you are put together or if you are a mess. You can arrive with a jumbled mind and a heavy heart. Your practice couldn't care less if you can touch your toes or meditate for hours. It asks simply that you show up. So let's open our eyes. We're going to come onto our knees. So knees together, ankles together. If you're not comfortable kneeling, just stay sitting for this next pose. Taking the hands onto the knees, we're going to inhale and you're going to lift the chest, lift your chin and look up. And then we're going to exhale, round the back, tuck the chin under and look down towards the belly. So we're doing cat and cow pose, inhale, lift, but we're doing it kneeling today, so just warming up our spines. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin in. Inhale, bring the hands up the thighs towards the hips. Lift the chin, look up, expand the chest. Exhale, rounding your spine. One more round here. Inhale and lift, looking up, and exhale, round. And then we're going to come to a neutral spine and then come down onto all fours. So we've got the hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. And we're going to begin to rotate the hips, moving them in a circular motion in one direction. Start with quite small circles and then gradually make those circles much bigger. So we're taking the bottom towards our heels as we move round, and we're bringing our hip flexors towards the floor as we come forward. Mobilizing the hip joints. A little bit of looseness in the arms here, slightly bending the elbows. And then we're going to pause and we're going to go the other way, starting with small circles, gradually making them much bigger and making this more of a whole body movement. And one more. And then come back onto all fours. Now you might find your knees have moved back a little bit, so move them directly back underneath your hips. And then take your right leg out behind and flex your right foot. And then bring your left arm and stretch it forward towards the front. And take your gaze down to the floor. Breathe into the belly here, nice steady breaths. Now inhale and exhale, round your back and take your elbow to knee, and then inhale, lengthen again. Exhale, round, Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. And inhale, lengthen and pause. Now bring your left hand back down to the floor and bring your right leg and cross it over your left and tuck your toes under. Press the ball of the foot into the ground. Drop the heel down towards the floor and look over your left shoulder towards that right foot. Feel a stretch down the right hand side of the body here. Now inhale, bring that right leg directly out to the side. Have the right leg level with your hip. Pause and then drop the foot down to the floor. Take the sole of the foot to the floor. Now lower your bottom down towards your left heel. Keep that right foot planted and bring your forehead down towards the floor or rest it on the floor. Nice deep breaths into the belly here. Feeling the stretch in your lower back and your right inner thigh, the groin area. And then come forward back onto all fours and bring that right foot back in. I want you to bring your inner thighs together, knees together, ankles together, and send your bottom down onto your heels. Reach your arms forward, child's pose, but with the knees together today. And come back up onto all fours. Bring your knees hip distance apart again. Now take your left leg out behind and flex your left foot. Now reach your right arm forward, thumb to the sky, pinky finger to the floor. Gaze down directly beneath the head. And lengthen that left foot away from the body and the fingertips forward. Now inhale here, exhale, elbow to knee, round the back, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and inhale, lengthen. Pause here, continue to breathe though. And then bring your right hand down and bring your left leg across the right. Now tuck the toes under, press the ball of the foot into the floor, press that heel down and look over your right shoulder, lengthening the left hand side of the body. Now we're going to inhale and bring this left leg out to the side, foot level with the hip. And we're going to place the foot down onto the floor, sole of the foot to the floor, keep the hands where they are and stretch your bottom down towards that right foot. Go back as far as you feel you can. And come back up onto all fours. Bring this left leg back in. Okay, so we're going to come into a pose called heart melting pose. We bring our feet to the back of our mats. Keep your knees hip distance apart and keep your hips stacked over your knees. And then reach your arms forward into the edges of your mat. Spread the fingers. Now keeping these hips stacked above the knees, begin to lower your heart, your chest down to the floor, and either take your forehead to the floor or place your chin on the mat. So your gaze is slightly forward here. So you should feel this in your shoulders, in your chest, and in the upper back. Long, deep, steady breaths. then take the forehead to the mat and bring your hands in towards the body and come back up. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we're in tabletop. Come forward a little bit on your mat. Spread the fingers, knees underneath the hips. Bring your hands forward a fraction. Tuck your toes under and begin to press into the legs to come up into downward facing dog. Making any adjustments that you need to make with your feet to come into this inverted V shape. You may want to walk through the feet here, warming up the hamstrings. And then we're going to take both heels down to the floor, coming into downward facing dog. Push the hands into the earth, relax the shoulders, gaze to the belly, lean the chest towards the thighs, pull the kneecaps up. Now we're going to bend our knees and we're going to walk our feet forward towards the hands. Coming into a forward fold, now feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees, grab onto the elbows, let the head hang heavy and take a little sideways sway here. No tension in the neck. And then come to stillness. Release the elbows. Press into the earth as you slowly begin to stand up. So we're going to come into some sun salutations today. So standing at the top of your mat, feet together, standing nice and tall, we're going to inhale and lift the arms up. Look up towards the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Now bending the knees if you feel any discomfort in your lower back. Inhale, look forward, nice flat back. Exhale, step the feet back and come into a high plank. Now you can choose here to drop down onto the knees, or you can stay in a plank as you lower down, keep the elbows tucked in, come all the way down to the floor. Keeping the hands where they are, take the tops of the feet to the mat. Inhale, lift, take the gaze forward. Exhale, tuck your toes under, press into your feet and come into downward facing dog. And we're going to take a couple of breaths here. Now we're going to bend the knees, look between the hands, either walk the feet up or try and take one big step, then bring the other foot in beside it. Inhale, nice flat back, looking up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, pressing into the feet, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands back down next to your thighs. And again, inhale, lifting the arms up. Gaze towards the thumbs, exhale, swan dive, forward fold, hands to your mat. Inhale, looking up, nice flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back into a high plank. If this is too much for you, come down onto your knees now, otherwise lower, staying in your high plank. Everything reaching the mat at the same time. Turn the feet over. Inhale, upward facing dog, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck toes under, press into the legs and lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Let's bend the knees, look between the hands. One big step, or walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, gaze forward, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press into the feet, lift the arms, up we come. Gaze towards the thumbs. Exhale, bring the hands down. So we're going to do one more Surya Namaskara aim. We're going to stay in downward facing dog this time. So inhale, lifting the arms, looking up towards our thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, step the feet back into high plank. Option to drop down onto the knees, elbows stay tucked in, or you stay in plank as you lower. Inhale, press into the hands, lift the chest and belly off the mat, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck toes under, press into the feet, lift the hips, adjust the position of the feet if you need to here. Now we're going to lift the right leg up, come into three-legged dog. So try and keep your shoulders and your hips square, level. Now we're going to bring this right foot all the way through. Between the hands, plant the foot. Stay on the toes of the back foot and lift the arms up. You're coming into a high lunge, back knee off the floor. Now check that your front knee is stacked over your ankle. It's not going in front of the ankle, just to protect the knee joint here. Reach the fingertips up, gaze forward. Now the legs are not going to move here, but we're going to hinge from the hips, and we're going to bring our palms, our hands alongside this back thigh. Now look down towards your right foot. So we've got a nice straight line, albeit a diagonal line, from your crown of your head down through the neck, the spine, and that left leg to the left toes. Now we're going to come into a balance here, a modified version of Warrior 3. I want you to transfer the weight onto this right foot. Extend the right leg, but keep a slight bend in the right knee, the support leg. And try and create a nice flat surface along your back and your left leg. Flex your left foot, gaze down to the floor, palms facing up towards the sky. Now we're going to float this left leg back to the floor, come back up into a high lunge. Hands stacked above your shoulders. Now bring your right arm forward, your left arm's going back for Warrior 2. So your back foot, your left foot is at 90 degrees. Gaze is down that front arm, down that middle finger and forward to the horizon. Your right knee stacked over your right ankle. Nice deep bend in this right leg. Now coming into reverse warrior, we bring our left hand onto our back thigh, our right arm comes up. Gaze towards the right fingertips. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to turn our feet to face towards the long left-hand side of your mat. Now bring the hands onto your hips. Inhale, lift the chest and look up. Exhale, keeping your spine long. Any discomfort in your lower back, bend your knees. We're going to fold here. Wide leg forward fold. Bring the hands to the mat. If the arms are bent, hands are under your elbows. If the arms are straight, hands are underneath the shoulders. Toes are pointing forward. The kneecaps are pulled up. We're pressing down into our toes, into the balls of the foot. The intention here is to get the crown of the head to the floor. Don't worry if you're nowhere near. That's just what you're thinking about achieving. Now inhale, look forward. Nice flat back. Exhale, bring the hands onto the hips. Flat back. Inhale, coming all the way up. And then we're going to turn that right foot forward. Now we're going to bring the hands down either side of our front foot. We're going to step this right leg back. Come back into a strong plank again. Now dropping onto the knees if this is too much. Lowering down, keeping the elbows tucked in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to inhale here, lift the left leg up. Keep the shoulders, keep the hips level, press evenly into the hands. And then bring this left foot down between the hands, plant the foot. Stay on the toes and the ball of the back foot, lift the arms up, stack them over the shoulders. Just check that front knee is directly above the left ankle. Drop the shoulders down into the body here. Now we're going to begin to hinge again. Bring the hands alongside that right thigh. Reach the crown of the head up and out away from the body, long spine. Now transferring the weight onto this left foot. Coming into modified warrior 3. Hands stay alongside the thighs. Slight bend in that left knee. Gaze to the floor. Now we're going to bend that left leg, float the right leg back. Bring the arms back up, come back up into this high lunge. And then bring the left arm forward, right arm back, turn the right foot out to 90 degrees. Check the heels are aligned. Coming into warrior 2. Shoulders down away from the ears. Press the outside edge of the back foot into the floor. Check this left knee is coming out over the pinky toe, it's not collapsing inwards. Feel strong and rooted into the earth here. And coming into reverse warrior, this right hand on this back thigh, gaze up towards the left thumb. And then come back up to standing. Toes pointing towards the right hand side of your mat this time. Bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. Exhale, forward fold. If this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, then you can take the hands onto your hips here. You don't have to bring the arms up overhead. If it's too much for your shoulders or your chest, hands on the hips. Otherwise, we're thinking with every exhale about taking the head down, the crown of the head to the floor, and the arms further over towards the ground. Now we're going to inhale and come all the way up on the in-breath. Exhaling at the top. And then we're going to turn our left foot forward, bring our hands down either side of this left foot and step this left foot back into our high plank. Nice and strong in our plank as we lower. Option to come onto the knees as always. Down we come. And then inhale, come into upward facing dog. And then exhale, we're going to come into downward facing dog. Speaking of dogs, we seem to have lost ours. Never mind. Okay, now bend your knees, gaze between the hands and walk the feet forward. Inhale, nice flat back, looking up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands down alongside the thighs. Okay, so we're going to do a balance today called dancer's pose. If you don't fancy trying this, then do tree pose, which we've done in a few of the other videos and you're familiar with now. So if you want to try dancer's pose, then I want you to bring your right heel up towards your buttock. And you're going to take the hand, your right hand, and grab the inside of the right foot, trying to keep the knees together. Now bring your left arm forward and then begin to hinge at the hips. So you're pushing your right foot into the hand, and you're lifting that right knee, lifting that right foot, gaze is forward. This left arm's extended out in front of you and lifted slightly. And come slowly back up. And release the right foot. So if you're doing tree pose, change to the left side now. We're going to take the weight onto the right leg. We're going to bring this left heel in towards the bottom, reach for the inside, the big toe side of the foot, push the foot into the hand, bring your right arm up, and then begin to hinge forward. Lift that back knee. We are creating a nice back bend in this pose. And come slowly back up to standing. And release. Feet together, standing in mountain pose, top of your mat, legs strong. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, nice flat back. Exhale, stepping back into plank. Now this time we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. So making sure that our forehead's on the mat, our feet are hip distance apart. Bring your arms alongside the thighs. Now we're going to inhale and we're going to lift the head, chest, legs and arms up off the floor. So the gaze is forwards but downwards. And you're thinking in this pose about lengthening the head, forward the feet, away from you, behind you, as well as lifting. Steady breathing. And lower. Okay, now you can repeat. It's called Shalabhasana. You can repeat that pose, or you can bring the hands behind you and interlace the fingers and lift up, lifting chest, lifting head, lifting the legs, lifting the arms, keeping the length in the body. And lower. So with your feet still hip distance apart, we're going to come up, prop ourselves up onto our forearms for Sphinx pose. Now you want to have your elbows directly beneath your shoulders and spread your fingers. So take your gaze down to between the index fingers and pull the elbows in towards the body and push your heart forward. And try to create length between your shoulders and your ears. So if you lift your ears up away from the shoulders and drop the shoulders down and towards the body. Feel this lovely stretch here in the abdominal muscles. Now you can choose to stay here in Sphinx pose, or you can tuck your toes under and lift your thighs and your belly up off the mat. So you're coming into a forearm plank. Still keeping that length between the shoulders and the ears. Gaze forwards but downwards. Legs are active, kneecaps pulled up. Try not to let the hips sink here, nice and strong in your core. And then we're going to lower back down. Well done. So bring the hands under your shoulders, bring your knees and your feet together. Push into the hands and come back into this version of child's pose, embryo pose, where we take the bottom down onto the heels, forehead to the mat, and we bring our hands alongside our legs. Palms facing up towards the sky. And sometimes here it can feel quite nice if you sway your hips a little bit side to side, just releasing the lower back. Tune into your breath here. And then bring the hands under the shoulders and press up. So we're going to come onto our bottoms and into boat pose. So balancing on your bottom here. You have the option of holding on to the back of the thighs. Try and have your ankles in line with your knees. Drop the shoulders down, lengthen the spine, lift the chest. If you're feeling strong in your core, you can extend the arms forward, thumbs towards the sky. Now you can stay here in boat pose, supporting the legs if you need to, or you can inhale here and then exhale, come down onto your lower back. So you're keeping your shoulders and your legs lifted, and then inhale, come back up, using your core. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And this time we're all going to exhale together, all the way down onto the mat. Now bring your feet so that they are slightly wider than your hips. We're coming into bridge pose. Feet are parallel, toes pointing forward. Now bring your hands, your fingertips, so they're reaching towards your heels but not quite touching your heels. Long spine, drop the chin down slightly towards the chest. Now inhale, press into the feet, tilt the pelvis, lift the hips, lift the belly and come up. Now you can either stay in bridge pose like this, or you can bring your left foot a little bit over towards the center and raise your right leg. This is too much to stay in bridge pose. Both feet firmly planted on the floor. Now drop that right foot down alongside the left foot and then lift the left leg up. And bring your left foot down. Bring your feet so they're slightly wider than the hips again. Lift the belly, lift the hips, and then slowly begin to lower one vertebrae at a time back down onto your yoga mat. And then we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Both knees into the chest and rock from side to side. And then we're going to take the arms out to the side, T-shape with the arms, press the palms into the floor, knees over your hips, legs together. We're going to inhale and then drop our legs over to the left hand side, trying to keep your knees at right angles. And then turn the head to look over your right shoulder towards your right hand. Bring your left hand and place it on the outer edge of your right thigh. Feel this lovely stretch in the lower back, base of the spine. And we'll bring the head up to center. We'll bring this left arm, place it back on the floor. Bring the knees back up to center. Just make sure the back's nice and long, the spine's nice and long on the mat before you drop the knees over, keeping them at right angles to the right hand side. The shoulders pressing into the floor. Turn to look over your left shoulder, stretching the right hand side of the neck. Bring your right hand onto your left thigh. And just enjoy this supine stretch. bring the head back to center, bring the right arm back out to the side and the legs back up. Now we're going to come into a pose called happy baby pose. So we keep our soles of our feet facing the sky, turned up towards the sky. We're reaching our index finger and our middle finger to the inside of our big toe, the thumbs wrapping around the outside. And we're pulling the knees in towards our armpits and our thighs towards our lower ribs. And here you can move a little bit side to side. If it's too difficult reaching the big toe, you can hold on to the ankles. You could even put a strap over the feet and hold on to either side of the strap. Taking this little bit of movement, just moving in whichever way feels nice for the lower back here. And then we're going to release the legs. And we're going to come into Shavasana pose now, our relaxation. It's giving our bodies and our minds a chance to absorb all the goodness from our yoga practice today. So let your feet fall to the side. Turn your palms open towards the sky. Drop the chin down slightly. Softly close the eyes. And just allow your breathing to flow naturally. So feel free to press pause and spend a little bit more time relaxing. We're going to now bring our feet to the mat. And then we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest, holding onto the back of the thighs. And we're going to roll up slowly and gently onto our bottoms. I'm going to cross the legs. And just sit again. Keeping our eyes closed, staying connected to our practice. We're going to open our eyes, bring our hands down by our sides. Take a nice big inhale as we raise our arms, palms come together. Gaze up towards the thumbs and then exhale, forward fold. Namaste.